have basic it's called a walkthrough. This is really the review session we have, code review session we have with the team. Okay, so this is okay. Let's go. We're going to have code review. This may have team responsible for the current workflow, team responsible for the next workflow, and the next QA team. But you know, I mean, in reality today, these are the same team. That's your team, basically, right? You are doing the next workflow, and you are doing the current workflow, and you are doing QA at the same time, right? So essentially, so you have some preparation. Basically, everybody take the time to look at your code, right? What is not understand, what is appear to be incorrect, mark them, and go into a review session. Okay. Then, so the walkthrough is chaired by some SQA representative. Basically, this is somebody else has to run the code review meeting. Okay, somebody has to run the code review meeting. So when we find something wrong, we're not going to say, okay, let's fix it right now, right? Code review session is for code review. You are there to basically review code and say, oh, this is wrong market, and move on. Market, move on, market, move on. Then basically give back to you and say, go back and you fix them and come back. That's why when you see, a lot of time you don't have this code review session. Okay? This is more like request for comments. So basically, when I'm done with my code, I send that to you and say, okay, so to my group and say, okay, who will sign up to code review for me? Who will provide a comment for me? Okay? So basically, everybody in the team have to step up, review somebody else's code. This is not say, okay, I'm a nice guy, so I'm just going to review code for you, or I'm not nice, so I'm not going to review your code. No punishment, no, I'm just going to duck, right? I'm lazy, I'm just going to duck. No, that is actually part of your job requirement. You are required to share the load of code review, okay? So basically, when somebody push out for code review, I mean, it's you pretty much know it's your turn to sign up for review. Certainly, if you're a nice guy, want to sign up for more, that's good. That's all good, right? But more likely than not, you have to do your fair share. Okay? So that's why you're not really having this walkthrough meeting. Okay, literally walkthrough, or sitting in a room or something like that. Basically, you can go look at your code yourself and write down your comments. Okay? Typically, the comment can be okay, here's the bug. Here's something I don't understand. And the code owner basically have to go and address every question raised by a reviewer. Okay? Only when all the problem taken care of, and the reviewer can say, yes, I agree with all the change. After then, typically there are threshold of how many requests for comment you have to complete, so that you can check the code into the repository. That's the time when your code really online in the repository and have effect on the mid branch. Okay, so that's more common case in our current practice. Okay, you submit your code for review. People sign up for the review. They provide you comments. You address the comments. I'll address all the comments. Time to go. Okay, you can check in the code. So walkthrough, I mean, so it's a document driven. Basically, you look at the code. It's not about who are doing the review. So and a critical thing is walkthrough should never be used for performance appraisal. Then it will be a very, very contentious thing, and nobody signed up for review. Nobody is waiting to give critical comments in the review. Then basically you defeat the whole purpose of review. Okay, this code review is not performance review. Okay, should not be linked. There are other things that can be used for performance appraisal, right? For instance, how many features you really implement, how many bugs you fix, and so forth, your productivity and so forth, how many design documents you propose got accepted and so forth, right? These are better points for review. Now say, okay, somebody trying something new and got a lot of comments, and that's his bad, right? That's not the right way to go. So code review is not performance review. You have more rigorous review called inspection. This is very rigorous. Okay, let's meet. Let's do a lot of preparation. Let's basically prepare. I mean, look at the previous faults. You do your inspection. You work together. You let the owner go back to work. Then follow up again until everybody agrees. This is really sitting in the same room. Follow the process, aided by previous faults types and the statistics, and trying to run this more carefully and make sure that you get rid of the bugs, right? So this is for, okay, we really require high quality in terms of our code. We are strongly enforcing coding standard templates. This is more likely you're going to see very formal inspection and code review meetings. All right? So in this case, actually, you have really moderator, readers. I mean, you read the code. Okay? This is basically everybody sitting in the room, and line by line, we are reading the code. Okay? Then I also have a recorder and basically say, okay, what people said about this piece of code. Okay? Fault statistic is important. Basically, what kind of faults we have. So basically, this is templates from past. Okay, we had in our company, in our development, in our project, we have seen faults like this. It may appear again, high likelihood it will appear again. So we are going to basically scan the code with these templates. Okay, that's your fault statistics. You can mark it major and minor, and also you can define what kind of type of fault that is. So if you have a module which have a disproportionately number of faults, you actually should pay great attention to that. So interesting thing is, typically if a module is faulty, it will continue to be faulty. No matter how much fix you put it, how many fix you put on it, continue to be faulty. And most of the time, you'll find that eventually you have to redesign. Okay, refactor, rework that module. Okay, so tend to be your faults are concentrated in certain part of your program. Okay, so the bug is not created equal. Okay, and also they're not spread equally. So they're concentrated in certain module, right? That will be your prime target for refactoring or rework. All right. So this is some statistic on inspection. This is a foregone conclusion. Basically, this you can see that people start think about the effectiveness of code review long time ago. So essentially, the evidence is inspection is equally useful as execution-based testing. This has been confirmed time and time again. Basically, this is saying you should do both. Okay? You can't just rely on execution-based testing. You can't just rely on inspection. You have to do both. Okay? And they bring you equal effectiveness. Okay? So do both. So performance, again, this is a statistic. You cannot say, okay, somebody created a module which is buggy, and then his performance is bad. Well, maybe that's actually a module that's newly created, new feature, new thing, right? Naturally, it may have a lot of faults, because new thing people haven't thought through that yet. If you use that for your performance appraisal, then it defeats the purpose. Then everybody will be saying, oh, I'm not going to propose and implement new features anymore, right? Because I maybe have eggs all over my face. I'm not going to do that, right? I'm going to get a C in my class, right? So in that case, so you are actually discouraged for people from innovating. That is actually the whole point in our industry. Okay, if your programs, if your team are not churning out new features, okay, then your team stays a number. Okay? You basically have to put out new features, new product. As you said, gaming industry, right? You have to keep putting out new titles, right? If you don't have the new games, I mean, you'll be obsolete in a matter of weeks, months, year, right? You'll be obsolete, right? There are so many games that we have been so big, and now it's just basically gone. If you don't have new titles, new features, okay? There are games that really lasting. Pretty much you can see for those games, if you look at it, they are actually self-generating. They are actually within the game. They are actually improving the feature quite a bit. All right, so basically, inspection and walkthrough are essentially code review process. You have an informal walkthrough. Basically, I send you a code. Can you give me some comments? If I got a comment from 3 of you, I got a pass. I can check in my code, right? If you have comments I need to fix or address, that's it. Or we have more detailed inspection. Basically, we all of us sit in the room. We actually read through the code line by line to make sure that we understand the design logic behind it, the algorithm behind it, and also the coding style, why we are coding this way. Okay? That is the most thorough process. You actually have to prepare, you have to do the meeting, you have to fix the bug, and go through the review one more time to confirm the change. Okay? This is actually inspection can be a very laborious process. Basically, you actually repeat that many times if you have a buggy module. So essentially, two different levels of code review. One is more commonly used, right? The other is, I cannot say more commonly used, but it's actually so easier to do, lower cost. One is higher cost, probably going to bring you better result. But it's always a trade-off between how much time you spend in code review and analysis, and how many bugs you find, and how many design errors you fix that way. This is all engineering time, right? So when you send, now why everybody has to take a load, right? Everybody is responsible for implementing certain features, okay? But I send you a code and say, can you review my code? The next time when you say, oh, can you review my code? I say, no, I'm not going to review your code. Then that wouldn't be a process that will be working, right? Everybody has to take the same load. The main reason is the time you spend review somebody else's code, you're not working on your own code, right? If you don't take people's effort in code review into their workload, then everybody will say, I'm going to stay away from doing review for other people. That exactly going to defeat the purpose of code review. Because code review, as we mentioned in the key principle is you got to have somebody else look at your code. You got to have somebody else look at your code. Not just you enjoy your code all by yourself, right? You have to share your code with somebody else. But most of the time, most of us actually try to keep the code closely to ourselves. We don't want to show that to other people. Well, actually, when you go to work, you have to open up more for code review. And you have to do code review for others. And also, a benefit of doing code review for you is actually you're learning new skills, learning about more features, and learning about structural code of the whole product, not just the module you are working on. Okay? And actually, in today's software engineering process, actually you're doing code review embedded. And basically, we are switching ownership of module every day, every week, right? So the first thing you do, take over a new piece of code for the day or for the week or even longer, and you have to read the code, right? That is a baked-in code review process, baked in. Any questions regarding code review? So you should be prepared doing code review, basically. Your code is going to be generated for not only you write your code for yourself, you're actually going to have to write in a way that other people can review it, right? If you have a lousy style, everybody will know. You are going to get a very nasty comment, and going to take you a long time to fix those things, right? So right now you are basically writing code for yourself. I mean, very quickly once you get to 400 level, I mean, so you basically have to share code with somebody else. You have group projects in your, especially in your capstone, you pretty much have to share code with somebody else. You're not going to be able to just say, oh, I'm going to do all the code myself. No, you're going to have to share with others. In that case, code review involved, right? But so in the sense that you have to write your code in a way other people can understand. All right, review can be very effective. Faults are detected early in the process. You don't have to wait until the code is all completely done. Review are less effective if the process is inadequate, right? Basically, you don't even have a process. You don't have a review comments process, right? You don't have coding standard. You don't have sample code, right? If you don't have a fault statistics, and things for people to look at, then you have a high possibility of basically say, okay, people are just reading code in a random fashion. That's going to degrade your the effectiveness of your review. Here's a metrics you can use for review. Inspection rate, I mean basically how many pages you can inspect, how much code you can inspect, the fault density, fault detection rate, fault detection efficiency. So these are metrics you can collect, right? Basically say how you improve your code review process. And also this give you a nice estimation of your workload, right? Code review is work, okay? It's actually going to be a significant amount of work for you. So that should factor into your workload. And also when you plan something, when you're doing a software planning, you have to pretty much, since you're doing this a lot, you have to be able to project how much time you're going to spend on your code review, right? Then you know for these statistics from before are going to be at least a good indicator for your estimation, okay? So that's why you have to accumulate statistics. But the metrics you can't just rely on metrics in a singular way. For instance, if you have a 50% increase in the fault detection rate, does it mean that quality decreased or the inspection process is more efficient, right? You have to look at that and say, is your inspection process actually consistent, or is actually you just ramping up your inspection process and then your ability of reading code and the inspection is getting better, so you are just finding more bugs now, or actually something happened to the module. I mean, for instance, a new programmer is implementing the module now, right? You may have more faults. The other side of the coin is basically execution-based testing, which we have been doing quite a bit, right? Essentially, you can see that they say, oh, 50% of your time on budget of testing, but if you factor in the developer's time of unit testing and debugging, it's going to be 75%, okay? Only 25% of your time is going to be writing your documents, your code, comments, all these things. 25% of your time. Okay, that essentially you're essentially looking at your 40-hour work week. You're looking at 10 hours. You're really producing things that might be useful for the future. Okay, but other time you're basically trying to make sure that they are of reasonable quality. Okay. So this is a very famous quote from Dijkstra, which is testing can only show existence of bug, but it cannot show absence of bug. Testing, no matter how thorough it is not a proof. The only conclusion you can draw from testing process, testing result is you did or did not find bugs or faults by using those test cases. Okay? You cannot say anything about test cases you have not run yet. Okay? When you find a bug, that's good for you. But when you're not finding a bug, you cannot say there's no bug in the program. Okay? Otherwise, in the extreme, they basically say, I run one test case and say, okay, great. There's no bug in my system. Everybody knows that's not possible. You have tons of bugs in your system, right? When you say you're testing, you're done with your testing, you're only saying that, okay, for all the test cases we have run so far, okay, we have found all the bugs, we have fixed them all, and now we rerun the test, use the cell test, we're not finding anything new. Is there any more bugs in your system? I think that conclusion probably is close to 100%, right? Unless your program is a very trivial program, right? So essentially, testing is only an effective way to show there is a bug. So this is one definition of execution-based testing, the process of inferring certain behavioral property of the product based in part on the result of executing the product in known environment with selected input. Okay? So you can see that there are a lot of assumptions here. First of all, we are inferring, okay? We are basically trying to conclude. It's not something we directly say it is, but actually we're trying to project, right? And also in a known environment, I mean, for any real system, you don't know your environment. You have an estimate projection about the environment. You will just say, okay, this is my best guess for that environment. Okay? But you don't have a known environment. If you totally know, that program is not interesting anymore. Okay? Selected input, that has the biggest consequence, basically saying that you cannot use all the input. I mean, it's theoretically impossible to run all the input practically on your system, especially when you have a cloud-based system. The more you use, the more you pay, right? If you are using